Picture this. A woman in plain clothes walks up a fortress gate. "Ma'am, you're not authorized to enter." The guards don't know she's the new commander. A broken watch. An empty wallet. A dusty road hiding a crime. Want to see what happens next? The road was the color of old bone, dry, long, dust rose and clung to the throat. Emily Bayer walked it alone, a canvas bag on her shoulder. Civilian shoes, no shine, no sound but grit and wind. She touched the watch on her wrist. The glass was cracked. The hands were stuck at 05:17. It had stopped on a day she did not say out loud. She wore it anyway. It carried weight. It told a story without time. Her wallet was empty. On purpose. She had left the cards on a kitchen counter 3 cities ago. It felt right to arrive with nothing, to face a place with open hands. The fortress grew as she neared. Dark walls, cameras like metal eyelids, 2 guards at the gate, a high chain of iron that squeaked once, a flag stiff in the sun. "Ma'am, stop there," said the first guard. Narrow eyes. Neat beard. Name tag, Saeed. The second guard shifted on his boots. Freckles, young jaw, Larkin. "This is restricted," Saeed said. "State your business." She smiled a little. "I'm here for work." "We'll need ID," Larkin said. The radio on his vest whispered with static, like grass in rain that never came. Emily kept her gaze soft. She offered a driver's license. She did not show the other card in the side pocket. Not yet. She wanted to see who they were when they didn't know who she was. Saeed read her name. "We don't have you on the list, Ms. Bayer." "It was a late change," she said. "Today is a zero-defect day," Larkin said. "No exceptions." Beyond the gate, an unmarked van sat with its engine on. The driver looked ahead, not at them. A padlock on a side door looked new, too new. It had sharp edges that hadn't seen weather. Emily listened to the wind scrape across the asphalt. She looked at their boots, clean, soles intact. No dragging, no fatigue there. Good posture, good training. They were steady men. She could work with steady. She glanced at her watch, useless, still she glanced. Habit is a private compass. It steadied her, even broken. The radio on Saeed's chest crackled again. Words resolved like a photo in a sink of chemicals. "Ooh, White Sparrow." Arrival delayed. Maintain posture. Detain any unknowns. "White Sparrow?" Emily said. Larkin stiffened. "You shouldn't ask questions like that, ma'am." "What happens if I answer one?" Her voice stayed light. "What if I tell you something useful?" "Not how this works," Saeed said. "Hands where I can see them." She raised them. The air felt grainy. The sun drew lines on the road that looked like scars. "Do you believe in rules because they're right?" Emily asked. "Or because they're written?" Saeed's jaw tightened. "Because they keep people alive." "Good answer," she said. He frowned. She saw doubt cross his eyes. It moved fast, like a shadow from a hawk. The unmarked van coughed. 2 figures inside. One on a phone, another tapping a tablet. Their shoulders were too calm for a day like this. Emily slid her empty wallet from her bag. She opened it. Nothing inside. "I left everything I don't need," she said. "To remind myself what matters here." "What matters," Larkin said, "is that you can't enter." "Then call your duty NCO," Emily said. "Ask for Annex Echo 42. Saeed flinched. Larkin looked at him. There was a protocol by that name. She had read their book 2 weeks ago. At night, with coffee, with a pencil. She had underlined it 3 times. "Who told you that?" Larkin asked. "Someone who wanted to see if you would use it." Saeed's radio barked. Clearer this time. "Gate copy. If she reaches the fence line, detain. Confirm. Detain." Larkin glanced down at his tablet. The glare on the screen slid away. A face popped up, her face. Her name stamped red. Unauthorized. He looked up. His throat bobbed. "Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to turn around." Emily's fingers brushed the cracked watch glass. The hands did not move. Her heart did not speed. The road breathed dust. "Last chance," Saeed said, stepping in. "Turn around or the radio cut him off." A clear voice, female, confident, close. It came from the van, not the post. "If she resists, cuff her." The van door clicked open, and a gloved hand reached for Emily's wrist. The cuff brushed her skin. Cold metal. Reflex is a quiet thing. Emily shifted her weight. Not a fight, not a scene. Just a sidestep that put the glove in air and the cuff in sunlight. "Stand down," she said, not loud, not soft, trained. The kind of voice that speaks to nerve more than ear. Saeed moved between her and the van fast. He blocked the gloved hand. "We've got this," he said to the stranger. He didn't look back. He didn't blink. He kept the gate in his shape. The gloved hand withdrew. The van door eased shut. The engine hummed like a bee with secrets. "Annex Echo 42, Emily said again. "Use it," Saeed called it in. Larkin watched the road. His freckles stood out now. A tide of color in a pale face. The speaker at the guardhouse clicked. A sergeant's voice, old rasp. "Gate, move the unknown to processing 1. Hold for verification." Saeed nodded. "Ma'am, this way." They led her into a small white room with a table and a chipped chair. A cooling unit sang in the wall. The air smelled of paper and lemon. A clerk sat behind glass. Thin hands, sharp eyes. She wore a name tape, Maya. She looked tired in a way that was not about sleep. "ID," Maya said. Emily slid the driver's license under the slot. Maya scanned it. She typed. Her mouth made a small shape of surprise, then closed around it. "Sit tight," Maya said. Emily did not sit. She placed her empty wallet on the table. She placed the broken watch beside it. The two objects looked like an argument. Time without money. Money without time. Saeed stood at the door. Larkin studied a stain on the floor like it was a map. "Long walk to the gate," Maya said at last. "Dust like that gets inside bones." "It reminds me where I've been," Emily said. "Where's that?" Places where dust was quieter. Maya's mouth almost smiled. Then she slid a thin file through the slot. "Someone told me to give you this." Inside was a photo. Not her. A man at attention. Square shoulders, dark hair gone salt. His wrist showed a watch with the same crack in the same place. The caption had a date. The year matched the day her watch had died. "Who told you?" Emily asked. Maya shook her head. "No names in processing." In the file was a second sheet. A roster. A line of names with boxes. Her name. A black slash through it. Next to it, hold. Next to that, see heart. "Heart," she said. "Our acting commander," Maya said. Her eyes flicked to Saeed. For the hour, the speaker above them popped. "Processing 1 lockdown," a voice ordered. "Stand by for security test." The door lock snapped. The hum of the unit deepened. The room became smaller by a finger's width. Saeed looked to Larkin. Larkin lifted his radio. No signal, just a thin hiss. Maya's hands folded. The skin around her knuckles went white. Emily stepped to the glass. "Who runs your tests?" "Depends on the day," Maya said. "Today it's people I don't see." "Then it's not a test," Emily said. A strip of light under the door blinked. Once, twice, 3 times. Then nothing. Someone slid something under the door. Paper. The corner caught on grit. Larkin picked it up and froze. His Adam's apple rose, fell. He handed it to Saeed. Saeed read it and handed it to Emily. It was a photograph of the same man. The one with the watch. This time he was not at attention. He was young. He was holding a baby in a blanket, a note scrawled in thick ink across the bottom. "Go home, Emily." Her fingers rested on the crack in the watch face. The glass felt like ice. The speaker hissed again. A new voice, smooth, close. "Processing 1, it said. "Prepare the unknown for escort to command." The locks clicked open. The door swung inward, and a man in a pressed uniform filled the frame. He wore a patient smile and a name shield that shone, Hart. Colonel Hart's ribbons looked like a careful lie. Balanced, bright, nothing out of place. He offered a hand. Emily didn't take it. She picked up the empty wallet. She slid the broken watch back onto her wrist. She felt the weight settle. Then she looked Hart in the eye. "Welcome," Hart said. "Unusual morning." "Unusual paperwork," she said, lifting the roster with the line through her name. "I'm curious who drew the black slash." "Ah," Hart said. "Temporary clerical marker. We've had list issues." His smile stayed. It did not reach the eyes. The eyes were winter. He waved them out into a hall. The air had the same lemon smell, beyond sterile, trying too hard. Saeed and Larkin followed, uneasy shadows with beating hearts. They passed framed photos of past commanders, faces with shoulders, eyes that knew things. Emily's father's face was not there. He had worn another uniform. Another time. "Security events make people cautious," Hart said. "You understand?" "I do," she said. "More than most." "Then you'll understand why we verify." He led them into a glass room with thick sides. A camera blinked a red dot. A technician stood by a console. She wore headphones. She did not look up. "Ms. Byer," Hart said. "Please confirm your full name and purpose." She felt the road on her tongue. Dust. She swallowed it. "Emily Ann Byer," she said. "Incoming commander." Larkin took a breath. Saeed's eyes flicked to the door and back. Maya's face in the window changed like a storm rolling in. Hart's smile did not move. "Of course," he said. "Though our records say you checked in last night." The technician tapped the screen. A timestamp glowed. 05:17. The hour of the watch that never moved. A grainy, still image appeared. A woman's silhouette, same height, same bag, same gait. The system wrote Emily Bayer under it. A neat machine's guess. "Curious," Hart said. "Or convenient," Emily said. "Do you suggest fraud?" "I suggest someone loves paperwork more than truth." Hart nodded like a teacher who had heard it all. "We'll sort it out." He turned to Saeed and Larkin. "Good initiative at the gate." "Sir," they said together. Hart's gaze landed on Emily's wrist. "Sentimental?" he asked, nodding to the cracked watch. "It doesn't need time to be a compass." Hart almost laughed. "Poetic." He looked at the empty wallet. "And that?" "A reminder that authority isn't a card," she said. "It's trust earned, spent." The technician coughed. "Sir," she said, "you asked to be informed." She held up a tablet. A live camera view showed the outer yard. The unmarked van was pulling away. Dust curled up behind it like smoke from a thin fire. "Routine logistics," Hart said. Emily watched the trail. It moved down the long road. The road that had carried her in. The road that carried secrets out. "Dust is honest," she thought. "It shows where you've been and what you hide." "Colonel," she said, "I want to walk the perimeter." Hart's smile finally cracked. "A line. After we verify." Saeed shifted. Larkin looked at his boots. "Or," Emily said, "I could ask for Annex Echo 42 again." Hart's eyes cooled. "We'll be done shortly." The technician frowned at her screen. Her finger hovered. "Sir," she said, "we've got a lock fault in the East Sally port." A red icon pulsed. Another camera came up. A metal door sat ajar. A sign above it read "Maintenance, no one in frame." A hinge wept a thread of oil. Hart's jaw tightened. He masked it fast. "Send a team." Emily looked at Saeed. "You know those tunnels?" He nodded once. She looked at Larkin. "You run fast?" He nodded faster. "Good," she said. "Walk with me." Hart stepped in front of her. "No." The lights in the corridor blinked twice. The building exhaled. A siren grew from low to long. It filled the space like water in a glass. "Active alarm," the technician said, voice flat. "Origin?" Hart snapped. Her eyes tracked text on the screen. "Gate," she said. Single shot fired. Saeed's hand moved to his radio. Larkin went pale. Emily felt the crack in her watch under her skin. She turned for the door. Hart reached for her arm, and a voice on the intercom cut the air like steel. "All units," it said. "Stand by for a commander on the field." They moved at a run, shoes on tile, then concrete, then a stairwell with walls that held on to cold. The siren's tone fell back, but it never left. The East Sally port was a steel mouth, open a few inches. Oil on the hinge smelled like pennies. Saeed slid through first, shoulders tight. Larkin followed. Emily went last. The door side shut behind them. Inside was a corridor of cinder blocks and old paint. Pipes ran overhead like ribs. The floor sloped down. The air tasted of damp iron. A figure waited halfway down. Heavy shoulders. Baritone breath. Sergeant Rojas. He carried that calm you only learn by failing once and refusing to fail again. "Ma'am," he said, eyes taking her in. He did not salute in a tunnel. He respected walls, walk, she said he did. He spoke as they moved. Shot at the gate was a warning. No injury, shooter vanished under here. They knew the map. "Inside job," Larkin said, too loud in the narrow hall. "Inside habit," Rojas said. They came to a wire door. A padlock hung open. New sharp edges, like the one on the van. The room beyond held metal lockers that didn't match. Numbers peeled off. When Emily opened one, empty wallets spilled out like dead moths. There were dozens. Cheap leather, torn seams, names written inside the flaps. Some in pencil, some in hope. "Enlisted stipends," Rojas said. "Gone for months," people said. Complaints looped back on themselves. Emily pictured Maya's hands. White knuckles, no sleep. Who has a key to this? Too many, Rojas said. Pain in the words. Another locker held small crates. Seals broken and resealed. Training parts, tool tags. A map pinned to the back wall was marked with a thin line. It traced the perimeter. It met the road. It ended at a dry gulch where radio signals stuttered. A name scrawled at the top of the map read, Dust Road. Emily took a photo with her mind. She put the feeling of it next to the weight of her watch. The broken time matched the broken trust. What's Dust Road? Larkin asked. A plan, Saeed said. A habit. A doorway. We need names, Emily said, and proof. Rojas pointed with his chin to a small camera wedged in a corner. They watch their own thefts, he said. Arrogance is a lazy guard. Pull the drive, Emily said. Larkin climbed a chair. His hands shook. He kept them steady by setting his breathing to 4 counts. He had learned that somewhere on a field where shouting didn't help. He dropped the drive into Emily's palm. It was warm. It felt like a tiny heart fighting a glove. Above them, the building thudded. Footsteps in a pack. A voice on a bullhorn moved like thunder on wheels. Press to the parade ground, it said. The acting commander will address you. Hart was moving the crowd. He was drawing eyes away from the downslope. Emily's watch face flashed with a sliver of light from a pipe flange. It looked like sunrise in a small world. Who fired the shot? She asked. Not ours, Rojas said. Angle was wrong. Came from a corner camera couldn't see. They moved deeper, turn, a door with a gap under it. A smell of engine oil. Rojas eased it open with 2 fingers. Beyond was a cavity cut into the earth. A concrete foundation hidden under the official map. A motorcycle sat there, plain, tough, dust already on the tires. It wore a temporary plate that had numbers that meant nothing. Its tank had a sticker of a sparrow in white paint. White Sparrow, Emily said. From the radio. Rojas nodded. I've seen that sticker on boxes headed out the back gate. A scuff of shoe on concrete made them turn. A figure stepped out of the dark. Lean, short hair. Gray at the temples you get from decisions. A sidearm in a holster she did not touch. She held up a small object between 2 fingers. It was a watch. The crack on the glass ran in the same place as Emily's. The hands pointed at the same dead minute. Looking for this, Commander? The woman asked. Her mouth did not smile, but her eyes did. Emily's fingers closed on air before they opened again. She had never met this woman. She knew her anyway. Who are you? Emily said. The woman held the watch up and the light found the crack. My name, she said, is Captain Nia Kerr. I think you and I are about to ruin someone's afternoon. Kerr handed Emily the twin watch. Same scar, same frozen hour. The weight made the bones in Emily's wrist remember old days. The 2 watches belonged to different stories that ended at the same minute. My brother wore this, Kerr said. He died here. No record that says so. The system called it a transfer. I call it a theft. From him? Emily asked. From truth, Kerr said. And from every kid who lost his wallet to a broom closet with a padlock. Rojas stood quiet, the kind of quiet that means respect. Saeed's eyes held heat. Larkin's fingers flexed like he wanted to hold something that did not break. Kerr pointed at the map. Dust Road is a path around the path. They preload training convoys with off-book crates. They take the gulch, out to a yard with no cameras. There's a middleman. Clean suit. Mud feet? Hart? Larkin asked. Kerr shrugged. He signs things. He keeps flowers on his desk. He knows where the dust goes, even if he says he doesn't. Emily looked at the motorcycle. The sparrow sticker. The lines of oil. You run with them? I run against them, Kerr said. But to stop a wheel, you sometimes ride it first. Emily ran her thumb along her broken watch. It caught and released. She weighed a choice, reveal, hide, strike, wait. I'm done hiding, she said. She walked back through the tunnels, up the stair, into the light of the hallway where Hart's voice rolled like warm syrup. He spoke of stability. He spoke of safety. The press cameras loved a man who made hard sounds gentle. Emily stepped into the back of the crowd. Saeed and Larkin flanked her. Rojas drifted along a wall, a river moving slow but strong. Maya stood near a pillar. Her hands were empty now. The white had left her knuckles. She met Emily's eyes for a breath and then looked away to live another day. Emily climbed the small side stair. She felt the paint under her palm. Old paint knows things. She reached the platform as Hart said, We verify every soul. Verify me, Emily said. Microphone stuttered. Spine stiffened. Heads tilted. Hart's smile returned to its mark. Ms. Bayer, he said, as if the name were a flavor he allowed himself once a month. We're sorting your confusion as we speak. Then you won't mind if I clear it, she said. She pulled the thin card from the side pocket of her bag. The one she had not shown. The one with the wrong gloss for forgery. She held it up. Sun caught it. The seal threw stars onto the ceiling. Emily Ann Bayer, she said. Incoming, Commander. You could feel the room inhale. Saeed's chin lifted. Larkin's shoulders squared. Rojas did not move because he was already ready. Hart's eyes did not blink. Of course, he said. Welcome. Let's get you on the road, she finished. Yes, right now. He frowned small. Now, she nodded. Annex Echo 42. Field review, perimeter. Convoys. Hart glanced at a man with a clipboard. The man's pen hung in air. We can schedule— No, Emily said. Silence balanced on a knife. Then Hart smiled too wide. Very well, he said. Walk with me. They walked. Out past the press. Past the lemon holes. Through a door where the paint did not remember care. The yard hit them with heat and noise. A line of trucks waited. Tarps tight. Straps neat. A smell of fuel. Kerr appeared at the far fence. She did not wave. She did not need to. Rojas saw her. Saeed saw the motorcycle waiting by a service shed.